Bonjour et joyeuse Halloween. I want us to decode these words together. There's actually a lot going on in Joyeuse Halloween. The first thing I always like to check for is my eyes always go to the end of the words. I like to check if there's a silent letter, like part of stupid X, that I have to X off. I don't see one there, so my next check is going to be if a word ends with because if it ends with that is a superhero and it's going to fly away and you're not going to hear the sound. So that's my first check. After that, I'm going to look and see if there are any letters working together. I see that might be all the French sounds that I can recognize right now. Sometimes I like to go through and check which letters have two sounds. So, for example, S can represent S and it can represent Z. How do you know which one it's going to represent? When S is surrounded by vowels, he falls asleep and he actually starts snoring. Zzz. So it's very rude, but that's what he does. Just instantly falls asleep because he finds vowels pretty boring here. So far we've got If I try and read this word, I'd probably read it as joyeuse or joyeuse. That doesn't sound quite right to me. And that's because there's a very tricky thing that happens with joyeuse. These two letters are actually working together. Y in English, has two sounds. It can represent E or it can represent Y. So E come il y a or Y come yo-yo. And this is an incredibly hardworking letter because sometimes this letter even has two sounds in the same word. So what this letter is doing is representing an I here and still doing the Y sound. They could have written this word like this. Joyeuse. Joyeuse. These two letters are working together to represent wa, but you still get that y. And that is why, if you look at a word like crayon, pencil, it's not crayon. These two are working together if we actually said it. That Y has two jobs. Crayon, crayon. So that's the same thing that's happening here. Joyeuse, joyeuse, joyeuse. Halloween. That's either going to represent an sound or an S sound. Halloween. That doesn't sound right to me. You know what? This is representing a different sound than it normally does. And it actually took this sound from English. From just like the English word says Halloween, instead of doing a French sound, I just have to remember, oh, that's the English sound there. That's okay. These E's don't work together very often. So I'm going to draw a heart to remind myself. Okay, I just have to know that part by heart. But going to represent an E sound in French. Okay, so let's put it all together. Joyeuse Halloween. Joyeuse Halloween. All right, I wish you a great Halloween today. Au revoir.